Hi, I'm Kim Woods, spiritual leader and transformation expert, and I'm here to talk about power. And we're going through the beautiful guide that you've just downloaded, and we're going to go through the 10 tips. And before we do that, what I want to tell you and talk about is the fact that purpose, power, and prosperity align with the divine as your business partner. You will see untold success and abundance and ease and joy and freedom when you actually step into your power. We're talking about power today. I do have things on purpose, of course, and I have gorgeous classes on prosperity, but today we're going to focus on power. So you've downloaded the guide and you've gotten your 10 tips, but we're going to do something different with them. I love to talk about things from a yin and a yang perspective because we have that gorgeous yin where you lean in or you merge or you lean back and allow, and it's that feminine and it's that rich right brain, and it's more in the state of being. So it's the embodiment, and for this it's the embodiment of power. And then I also like to talk about the yang because the yin doesn't work without the yang and vice versa. So with the yang, that's where you take action. That's where you do. That's the masculine left brain. That's the activity that you want to be doing in order to actuate success in your life and in your business. And so when we talk about power, we take those 10 tips and we put them in the yin yang shaker, and we actually have them escalate or ascend to the amount of commitment you want to make, the amount of effort and the amount of energy and resource you want to put in. So let's start. Let's start with the first yin tip. That first yin tip is about positive energy. And so you may have, heard about the law of attraction, or you may be, joking and say, I'm going to send you good juju, or these are the good vibes. That's the essence of this. When you are welcoming your power, you want to do it in a positive way. So you want to be in the positive energy. That's the more exhilarating, that's the more energized, that's the, quote unquote, zhuzhy vibe. So when you're thinking about your day beginning or a meeting that you have or really anything that you're scheduling, maybe it's a sales call, you can actually anchor positive energy for yourself and for that circumstance. Now for the first yang tip, we're going to be looking at how you're using your voice. Do you express yourself? Because you definitely want to be expressing yourself. Honestly, is there anything worse than, exiting a conversation and saying, "Ugh, I should have said this," or "I wish I had said that"? Of course, that is like drawing and dripping your power away and just leaving it on the floor or on the table. We don't want to do that. So what we want to do is we want you to be actively thinking and engaging when you're in conversation. Think about what it is that you'd like to say before you enter the conversation, and then give yourself permission to say it. Really give yourself permission to say it. If you say it in a respectful manner, it is typically received well. Anticipate that it's going to be received well and say it, because when you're expressing yourself, you're being true to yourself, and that helps you with your power. Now for the second yin tip, we're going to be talking about listening. Listening is a skill that is a practiced skill. But it is a yin energy. It's when you lean back and when you open yourself up and when you engage with another or connect in another and you're taking in what they're saying and not thinking about what you're going to say next. That is really important. There's so much richness in the conversation and in the space in between the dialogue that you will be actually gaining and claiming yourself as you're actively listening. On the Yang side, it's setting your priorities. So to set your priorities, what you want to do is you want to know what they are. So doing an evaluation, taking stock, looking at the different areas of your life and saying, okay, is this a priority for me or not? And then really being deliberate about meeting your priorities. I even say rank them, because I always know what my top priority is, and then my next one and my next one. I have typically 3 to 5 priorities that I'm actively working on. And those others that are not priority, I'll put them away, I'll put them along a timeline, I'll maybe delegate them, or I let them go. Because if they're not within my first 10, really, they're probably not something I'm going to be engaging with deliberately for the foreseeable future. Really, if ever. So set your priorities. Now, the third Yin tip is about your intuition. Now, this goes through layers. This is textured. So we want to rely on your intuition. Ultimately, we want you to trust your intuition. We want you to be completely connected with your inner knowing. But we step into that and we practice with that. So this first, maybe it's your first foray with it, or maybe you're learning to develop it, or maybe you're actually practicing trusting it. Perfect. You want to be continuing to do that, because this is the secret weapon. This really is. So relying on your intuition, saying yes to it, is a Yin activity, because you do want to allow it. You want to give it space. You want to let it breathe. You want to let it come up. It's a whisper. It's not a shout. And so you do need some silence. You need some allowance. You need some acceptance and letting go to really welcome it into your life. However, when you do, I've got to tell you, it's power personified. That third tip is to collaborate. And so what you want to do is you want to be in a cooperative, negotiating, open stance, if you will, welcoming the engagement with others. But think about ways you can work together. And I even tell my clients that, you may have some sales calls that don't quote unquote pan out. You may not have made the sale, but you certainly have started a relationship. You've started it could be a future partnership. You have no idea. Be open to that. But in the Yang activity, because this is on the Yang side of the list, you want to make sure that you take action with that. You want to reach out. You want to establish connection. You want to plant the seeds to potentially have a collaborating and arrangement with this person or this company or institution going forward. So yes, being open to that is beautiful, but actually engaging in that. If you don't reach out, the other party has no idea that you're thinking about this. If you don't express yourself and really open the opportunity, then the opportunity may not be open. So this is why it's on the Yang side. You want to take action for this. Start a conversation. Plant those seeds. If it doesn't pan out, you've lost nothing. If it does, you've gained. You have no idea what you've gained. You could gain immeasurable success. The fourth Yin tip is practicing discernment. Discernment is not wired in the brain. Discernment is in your body. It's with an open heart. It's in your belly for that wisdom. You can judge with your mind, but judging will cut you off. You might shear off an opportunity or a support mechanism without even knowing it. That's why this is on the Yin side. This Yin side is being much more open and available and allowing your heart and your belly wisdom to say, is this the right thing? Is this not the right thing? Is this person going to be someone I'm going to continue to work with or start working with? or not. It feels a little bit like intuition, but it's actually a little bit deeper than that. It's a little bit more engaged. It's a little bit more employed. So you want to be practicing discernment. That fourth Yang power tip is establish your own rules. How beautiful is that? Yes, in big conglomerations, you are typically following someone else's rules, but there are so many opportunities to establish your own rules. You can, establish your own rules with your groups, with your clients, with your product fulfillment. You can do it in your home. You can do it with friends. You can do it with families. There is so many opportunities to establish your own rules. Wouldn't it be great to actually do them and to do it? How powerful would you feel if you had your own rule base in different areas of your life? I would say, whew, these are my rules. I know what they are. You're following them. How empowering is that? That last Yin power tip is to command respect. Look at what I just did. I just sat up more fully. I am literally in a more powerful position. You commanding respect is going to give everyone around you the notification that you want to be respected, that you expect to be respected. And how powerful is that? Talk about that claiming. You're like, I always do this, right? I mean, just think about what that sound evokes. You are powerfully personified in your ownness, right? And so whatever it is that you are wanting to do or desiring to do or wishing to do can come true because you are in that stance. Now that fifth and final tip that we have is the Yang tip of creating your own stage. Think about that. Now, when I entered this online world, I had been, in the business world, very brick and mortar, had a 7-figure business. And so I had the power and the respect and, the appreciation and understanding from my community. And then here I did, entered the online world and knew nothing and was really opening up to intuition. So pivoted what I was doing. And so I was a newbie. I was a neophyte. And when I started on this, plane, if you will, I said to myself, I want to create my own stage. I want to have that same level of power and that same level of respect. I want to have my own rules. So I had to figure out how to do that. And I did, using different social media tools, creating groups, whatever it may be. I said, I want to create my own stage because then I have the power circuitry, I am the one that is in command. And I love that. And I have the freedom to do what I want and to go where I want and to welcome who I want. And it is so amazingly, not to overuse the word, but so amazingly empowering. So those are your 10 tips on power. You've downloaded the guide. There's so much gooey goodness in the guide. And now I want to invite you to expand this conversation into other elements of power. This is individual power that we've been talking about. So you as an individual, what can you do to increase your power base and to command and claim your own power? But there are two other parts to this power equation, because power is fluid. And so we're talking about amping up your power. I made that sound, that sound, right? So we're talking about really amping it up. We don't want to underestimate that. However, we want to recognize that there's infinite power as one part, and there's collective power as the other part. So power is in 3 components or 3 parts. And so today we've just talked about individual, and this guide speaks to the individual. But on the infinite power, this is where I do a ton of things that I invite people to come into this world. I have a blog that I do 3 writings a month, and we use the lunar power and we use the power of the planetary energies, and we use it as an oracle for the month. I also do things, on an annual basis, in any sort of big power celestial happening. I'll come in and do some writing and do some teaching around that, because it is so empowering to know what's going on. And I also have a free group called the Power Up Group, where we do ritual, we do classes, we have festivals, we have fun. We do so many things in this group. I'm constantly going in and doing lives and doing long posts and doing teaching, because this is such an untapped resource that can give you so much. Give you I call it infinite power, because it is infinite. Learn about magical tools, combine those with practical tips. We do so much, and you can, partake and graze and, eat from the buffet as little or as much as you want. The third part of this is collective power. So each individual, individually you have so much power, but the collective has more. The whole is more than just the sum of the parts. And that is true. Do you ever know when you're in a group or you're on a team and you remember team sports when you were younger, or maybe you're still on a team and you play, softball, or you do something in tennis, or you do something with swimming or what have you, and you are part of a team. You know that any sort of gains are so much richer, and you know that any losses are so much sweeter when you're with another and when you're with others. It's the same thing with business. It's the same thing with life. So collective power is a key part to your power, claiming. And so we're doing that in my Power Up group as well. We are a collective. We support each other. We celebrate each other. We, heal each other. We are committed to each other. So come join if you'd like to have more of your own power, infinite power, and collective power. So if you're looking for that power, your individual power expansion, that infinite power and that collective power, join my group. Sign up for my email list. You definitely want to participate in this, because we are doing magical things in practical ways. So click on the link below.